My name's Jack Healy, and today I watched my wife was with another man in my own bed. I wasn't supposed to be home yet. Business trip got cut short, and I thought I'd surprise her. I pulled into the driveway around 3, saw the strange black Audi parked right in the middle like it owned the place. That should have been my first clue. Dakota always told guests to park along the curb. I walked in through the back door, quiet. It was too quiet for a house with 2 kids and a wife who loved playing music while cleaning or cooking. I thought maybe they were out. But when I passed the stairs and looked up, I heard it. Low moans. The sound of the bed creaking. A voice, hers, muffled but unmistakable. I didn't storm up there. I didn't shout or break anything. I pulled out my phone and hit record. By the time I stood in the doorway, they still hadn't noticed me. I had a perfect view of my wife's bare back, arched like a bow, her fingers gripping the headboard like she'd trained for this moment all her life. That's what hurt. 18 years married, 2 daughters, Sheridan 13 and Helena 11, and I'd never seen her like this. Not with me. She was wild, filthy. Words came out of her mouth I didn't even know she knew. And the worst part, she looked happy. I stood there for some minutes, took pictures, took video. It all felt surreal, like I was watching some indie movie about a guy whose whole world cracked in half. She never noticed me. I didn't say anything, didn't throw a lamp, didn't pull the guy off her. I just turned around and left. I drove to the office. Didn't even think about it. Just knew I couldn't be home. Not yet. Franny, my assistant of 15 years, looked up as I walked in. She started to say something, but I brushed past her like a ghost. Shut the door. Locked it. Sat at my desk and stared at the 2 baby photos I'd pulled from Dakota's drawer. She used to keep 4 pictures on her nightstand, a family portrait, our wedding photo, and 2 shots of the girls when they were small. Only the girls' photos had remained. The others, mine, ours, were hidden in the second drawer. Even in the middle of making love with someone else, she wanted him to see those baby pictures. What the hell kind of message was that? I dialed Ennis. He picked up like nothing was wrong. "Jackson, my man! To what do I owe the— I need your help," I said. That wiped the smirk off his voice. "What happened?" "I came home early. She was with someone else. In our bed. I have video. Photos." There was silence. Then, "You want a divorce?" "No, I want more. I want to end her. I want her to remember this for the rest of her miserable life." Ennis exhaled through his teeth. "Well, buddy, let me get my investigators on her. You'll have to pretend everything's normal for a while, though. You think you can manage that? I'll do whatever it takes." "Good. And Jackson, don't tell a soul." That night, I went home. Dakota was in the kitchen. She gave me that wide, phony smile she uses on Neighbors. "Jack, you're early." I figured I'd finish the day at the office. She kissed my cheek like she hadn't just spent the afternoon writing some stranger. "Dinner will be ready soon. Didn't expect you, so it's nothing fancy." "I'm not hungry." I started upstairs. The girls tackled me halfway. "Daddy!" They were excited, smiling, hugging me like nothing in their world had changed. And maybe for them, it hadn't. I held on to them a little longer than usual. Upstairs, everything looked spotless. Our bed was made, sheets fresh. She'd cleaned the whole crime scene like a pro. Except I noticed the 2 missing photos hadn't returned. She caught me staring at the empty space on her nightstand. "Oh, honey, I broke the frames while dusting. Took them to get fixed." I nodded, said nothing, changed clothes. That night, we ate dinner in silence. Usually, dinner with the girls is chaotic, noisy, full of giggles and gossip. But that night, even they felt the tension. Dakota kept glancing at me. She was nervous. She could sense something. But she didn't know what I knew. Not yet. After the girls went to bed, I poured a whiskey and sat in my office chair. She called it the man cave. Said it was embarrassing. But it was the only room in the house that still felt like mine. I had to muster every ounce of strength not to give myself away. Not before I dropped the hammer on Dakota. The next few days, I played my part. Woke up early, went to work, ate her dinners, hugged the kids, slept beside her. She grew clingier by the day, saying, "I love you," 20 times before lunch, complimenting my ties, asking about my mood. It wasn't guilt, it was fear. She knew something was wrong. She just didn't know what. Franny knew something, too. She kept looking at those photos on my desk like they were haunted. One afternoon, she knocked on my door and sat down without asking. "You okay, Jack?" "I'm fine." "You sure?" I said I'm fine. She nodded, stood up, hesitated. "If you ever need to talk..." I ignored her. But I saw the way her eyes lingered on those baby photos again. She knew. It was Ennis who finally dropped the bomb. "Jack, you need to come in. Today." I walked into his office, and he didn't even bother with a joke. He looked like a man trying to swallow broken glass. "We got everything. Surveillance, audio, photos, texts. She's not just cheating. She's been cheating since before you got married." I stared at him. "What?" "Her boyfriend, Byron Du Bois. They were together in high school. According to my guy, he's been bragging about making love with Dakota the morning of your wedding." My throat closed. "What?" "Yeah. She told him you'd get sloppy seconds." His words, not mine. I stood up too fast. The room spun. "You okay?" Ennis reached for a towel and pressed it to my forehead. "Breathe, man. Just breathe." "What else?" "You're not gonna like it." I laughed bitterly. What the hell else could there be? Ennis didn't flinch. "Your daughters. There's a good chance they're not yours, Jack." That one hit harder than the rest. "No, we can't prove it without a test, but we have footage of all four of them. Dakota, Byron, and the girls at a park. Picnic. The kids called him Dad." They kissed him, hugged him, played catch. I sat back down. Everything around me went silent. "You okay?" Ennis asked again. "Do they know?" He nodded slowly. "They do?" I wanted to scream, break something. Instead, I just sat there feeling like my spine had vanished. "What do we do now?" "You want out? We go for annulment, based on fraud." "But we've been married for 18 years. "Doesn't matter. You found out now. You have 4 years to file. But if we go this route, you give up all rights. No child support, no alimony, but also no visitation. It'll be like the girls never existed to the court." I blinked. "They're still my daughters." He shrugged. "Legally, maybe. Emotionally, that's on you." I didn't sleep that night. I left the house before Dakota woke up and went straight to Butch's place. Butch, real name Cheyenne Gillette, was head of IT at the firm, ex-Navy, built like a linebacker, and had the emotional warmth of a buzzsaw. But she was loyal, and her partner Becky was the only person I'd ever seen make her laugh. When I told them what happened, Butch didn't blink. Becky hugged me, hard. "You're staying with us," Butch said. "Don't argue." So I didn't. I told them everything. The affair, the lies, the girls, Franny, even the alpha-beta bullcrap Dakota fed her cousin. Becky looked confused. She wanted an alpha to father the kids and a beta to raise them? That's what Franny said. "Jesus," Butch muttered. "That's not just manipulative. That's delusional." Becky nodded. "You're the better parent, Jack. But you don't have to carry this alone." I tried to laugh, but it came out like a cough. "She destroyed everything. And now she says she still loves me." Butch raised a brow. "You believe her?" "I think she believes it. And what do you believe?" I looked down at my hands. "I believe she used me." The next morning, Dakota showed up at my office. Security let her through, my mistake. I hadn't filed the restraining order yet. She barged in wearing heels, makeup like a billboard, and that smug smirk she always wore when she thought she had the upper hand. "Hi, Jack." I didn't say a word. "I've been trying to reach you. Why aren't you answering my texts?" Still nothing. Her eyes dropped to the baby pictures on my desk. She froze. "You were there." I nodded slowly. She sat down across from me, crossing her legs like a bored queen. "It's not what you think." I leaned forward. "You slept with him. In our bed. What else am I supposed to think?" "It was just a mistake." "How long?" She shrugged. "A couple months. Don't lie to me." "Fine. A few years. On and off. But it never meant anything." "That's worse." "Jack, come on. You know I love you. I always have. This thing with Byron, he's different. I don't know how to explain it." "You don't have to." "I already know everything." Something in her face twitched. "Franny?" I didn't answer. "Okay, so now what?" she asked, folding her arms. "You gonna destroy everything over one mistake?" I stood up, leaned over the desk. "This isn't a mistake, Dakota. You lied. For almost 2 decades, you used me. You made me raise kids that aren't mine. And you have the nerve to sit there like it's no big deal?" Her smile disappeared. "Watch your tone." "Or what? You're cheating with someone else?" She stood too, her heels clicking against the floor like gunshots. "You want to blow this up? Fine, but remember, you do that, you lose them. You lose everything. They were never mine." She blinked. That one got her. "You know what's sad?" I said. "I was a good father, a really good one. I would have died for those girls." "And maybe that's the problem," she snapped. You were so busy being the good guy, you forgot how to be a man. I didn't move, just stared. She picked up her purse, threw one last dagger with her eyes. You think this ends with you winning? You're not ready for war, Jack. But I am. Then she walked out. That afternoon, I called Ennis. File it, I said. You sure? Do it. Annul the marriage. Serve her. You got it. Dakota didn't go quietly. She kicked the door shut behind her and started tearing through my office like it was hers to destroy. You smug little coward, she snarled. You think you won? You think dragging me through court makes you some kind of hero? She threw a pen cup at me, missed, grabbed a heavy file binder, and launched it across the desk. Then a glass award I'd gotten 3 years ago shattered against the floor. You sent people to spy on me? To follow me like I'm some kind of criminal? I stood still. Dakota came around the desk fast and got right in my face. I gave you the best years of my life, she hissed. And you repay me with humiliation? Do you have any idea what you've done? She raised her hand and slapped me hard across the face. Then again. Security finally burst in, but she wasn't finished. Her hand darted toward a letter opener. Not to use it, but to fling it at the wall near my head. It stuck into the drywall, humming from the force. Don't touch me, she shrieked at the guards. You have no idea who I am. None of you do. They moved in. Get off me, she shouted, twisting. He's the one who should be dragged out, not me. As they restrained her, she snapped her head toward me, hair sticking to her face, eyes burning. You're nothing, Jack. Just a gray little man hiding behind rules and lawyers. You think the girls will pick you after this? You think that they'll look at you and see a father? They don't even talk about you anymore. I kept still. No words. No emotion. I made you, she screamed as they pulled her to the door. One final twist of her neck. One final glare. I hope you rot alone. Then she spit. Not at me, but right on the floor at my feet. The security team pulled her out. Ennis called 15 minutes later. He sounded like he was holding back a laugh. She showed up, huh? I wiped the corner of my mouth with a napkin. Yep. She slap you? Twice. Throw anything? Half the office. A pause, then flat and satisfied. Permanent order. No more chances. She just handed it to us. The annulment hearing was scheduled in 60 days. Ennis made sure the media got the date. He said it'd send a message. Meanwhile, Dakota used every trick she had. Tried calling me, texted me at night, left voicemails that started sweet and ended venomous. You love me, Jack. You still do. We can fix this. Next one. You think this is justice? This is revenge. You're pathetic. Then, I'll make sure you never see the girls again. She was already doing it. After Ennis served her, she took Sheridan and Helena out of state for a trip. No warning. No goodbye. That's when I stopped hoping for resolution. One evening, I stopped by the Horse's Head for a drink. Needed space, silence, whiskey, but Dakota was waiting. She stepped out of a black SUV, hair curled, heels clicking. She didn't say a word at first, just pointed to the car. Inside were Sheridan and Helena, pressed up against the window. Byron was in the driver's seat, stone-faced, hands on the wheel like he was gripping a tool. They still love you, Jack, she said. But if you go through with this war, you'll never see them again. I stared at her. You're using our daughters as hostages. I'm protecting my family. They're not your pawns. They're mine, she said quietly. Not yours. Not really. I took a step toward her. You really think this'll end well for you? If you loved them, Jack, you'd drop this. You'd come back. We could figure something out. You, me, Byron. You want me to share custody with the man you cheated on me with for half our marriage? Not custody, she said, shrugging. Just accept him. My jaw clenched. Go to hell, Dakota. She left. But I know it's not the end. The city was dark by the time I left the bar, streetlights humming, air cool. I hadn't even made it 2 blocks when a car sped up behind me, headlights flaring in the rear view. Same black SUV. I barely had time to react before it cut me off hard, swerving across the center line, tires screeching. I hit the brakes, jolting forward in my seat. Byron stepped out before the car even came to a full stop. He slammed the door and walked toward me fast, jaw clenched, eyes locked. I opened my door slowly and got out. What the hell is this? I asked, voice low. He stopped a few feet away. She told you how this works. You said, no. I did. She's trying to protect what's left, and you're dragging everyone through the dirt like it's a game. She's not protecting anyone. She's using the girls to hold me hostage. He pointed at me. You keep saying that, but you're the one pushing this war. You want to be a father? Then stop acting like a rival. I stepped forward. I'm not going to pretend what she did didn't happen. I'm not going to sit down, shut up, and let her rewrite history. Not for you. Not for anyone. He looked around like he was trying to stay calm, then turned back, face tighter. She doesn't want more chaos. Neither do the girls. You know what she really wants? Control. And she thinks using you will scare me off. It won't. She wants peace. You're standing in the way. I shook my head. Peace isn't built on lies, Byron. A pause. Then he leaned in, voice dropping. You go through with this, Jack. She'll take it further. You won't just lose contact. You'll be painted as unstable, vindictive. She's already talking to people. She'll do whatever it takes. I stared at him. She sent you to tell me that? She wants you to think about the girls. Don't pretend you care about them the way I do. They're not trophies. I said, they're not leverage. And you're not their father. His hands twitched, jaw set. And for a second, I thought he was going to swing. And I wanted it. I wanted him to. But just before it happened, red and blue lights flashed. A patrol car turned the corner and slowed down, headlights sweeping across both of us like a warning. The window rolled down halfway. Everything okay here? The cop called out. Byron took a quick step back, his fists loosened. I didn't flinch. Yeah, I said, keeping my eyes on him. All good. The cop lingered for a beat. Byron finally turned toward the SUV, muttering something under his breath. He drove off. I didn't move, not for a while, because I needed him to know. Next time, there won't be a cop driving by. At Butch and Becky's place that night, I told them everything. The SUV, the threats, the girls' faces behind the glass. Becky looked like she wanted to cry. Butch? She looked very angry. She's a narcissist, Butch said. She thinks love is leverage. She's winning, I muttered. Every time I try to take a step forward, she drags me back down. She's not winning, Butch said. You're still standing. You're not drinking yourself stupid. You're thinking, planning. She's weaponized the kids. Then don't let her, Becky said. Don't let her break you. I wanted to believe them. Then Troy showed up at my office the following week. Dakota had sent him. Troy was married to her sister, Montana, the quiet, steady type. The guy everyone pitied after her affair blew up a few years back. The one that turned every family gathering into a minefield. Everyone knew about it. Even Montana's kids. But he forgave her. Stayed. Smiled at holidays. Like nothing happened. Now he was here, standing in my doorway, sent by his cheating sister-in-law like some kind of peace ambassador. He looked worn out, like a man sent to carry a message he didn't believe in. Troy looked exhausted, defeated. A man dragging himself to the gallows. I offered him a drink. He declined. Just sat across from me like he was staring down a cliff. You're trying to convince me to forgive her? Don't waste your breath. I'm not like you. I can't do it. I'm staying with her, he said. Not because I forgive her, but because I still love her, and I'm too old to start over. I nodded slowly. That's your choice, man. What are you gonna do? I'm burning it all down. He didn't argue. He understood me. The media had a field day with the annulment trial, 18 years of marriage, fraud, DNA tests, private investigators, video evidence, the works. Ennis played it like a concert pianist, every move choreographed, every word weaponized. Dakota tried to play the victim. I was confused. Jack was distant. Byron and it was a mistake. But she couldn't explain the texts, the pregnancy plans, the recorded conversations. The DNA test confirmed it. Sheridan and Helena weren't mine. I felt the courtroom freeze when the results were read. Dakota didn't cry. She just blinked. Byron didn't even show. Ennis leaned toward me. You won, partner. It didn't feel like a win. A month later, late at night, my phone buzzed once. Unknown number, no voicemail. Then another buzz, dia. Text this time. Daddy, it's me. Please don't tell Mom. I froze. Sheridan. My fingers hovered over the screen. The room was dark, just the soft blue glow from the phone lighting up my hand. My heart kicked into a different gear. Another text. Can we talk? I called immediately. The line clicked. A whisper. Dad? It was her. Older somehow, just from the tone. Sheridan? She didn't speak right away. I heard her breathing, shaky and uneven. Yeah, it's me. And Helena's here too. Where are you? In my room, door locked. She's on speaker. Then Helena's small voice. Hi, Daddy. My chest tightened. Hey, sweet pea, you girls okay? No, Sheridan said. We're not. Mom said, you left because you were mad, but I know it's not just that. I know it's about Byron, about the truth. I didn't speak. Mom told us not to say anything. She said you'd leave forever if we did, that it would ruin everything. She said you'd hate us, Helena added quietly. And her, and everything, Sheridan cut in again. But then you left anyway, and it's worse. It's so much worse. I gripped the edge of the table. You didn't ruin anything, I said, slow and steady. None of this is your fault. You're still my dad, Sheridan said. I don't care what any test says. You raised us. You did everything. I remember. Me too, Helena said, voice cracking. And can we see you? Please, at the library near school, after Mom drops us off? I exhaled slowly. Okay. Dad? Sheridan's voice again. Yeah? I'm sorry we didn't say something sooner. I just didn't know how. I'm just glad you called. We love you. My throat clenched. I love you too, always. The line went quiet, then a soft click. I sat there with the phone still pressed to my ear, heart pounding, breath shallow. Tomorrow I'd see them again. I spotted them in the library before they saw me. Sheridan in that gray hoodie she wears when she wants to disappear, and Helena head down, dragging her feet like the floor hurt. I stepped outside. Sheridan looked up. Her eyes were tired, older than they should have been. Helena rushed me without a word and hugged me around the waist. I missed you, Daddy, she mumbled. I missed you too, kiddo, I said, holding her tighter than I probably should have. Sheridan was standing a few feet back, chewing her sleeve. Hey, I said, watching her face. You okay? She didn't answer, just sat on the bench and slowly pulled up her sleeve. My stomach dropped. Dark bruise, high on the arm, finger marks. Who did that? I asked, already knowing. She looked down. Byron. I couldn't breathe. What happened? I didn't want to eat the broccoli. I got up from the table. He grabbed me and said I was being a brat. I heard my breath before I felt it. It was shallow, hot. My hand clenched without thinking. Mom told me to cover it. She said not to make it worse. I'm going to fix this, I said. You hear me? Sheridan grabbed my wrist. Don't let her talk you out of it this time. I didn't blink. She won't. I dropped the photo on the counter in police station like it was evidence in a murder trial. The desk officer barely looked up. Mid-40s, chewing on a pen cap. You need to file a report? He asked, eyes glancing at the screen in front of him. Yeah, I said. Look at that photo. He glanced down, then again, slower this time. That's a bruise, he said. Who's the kid? My daughter, Sheridan Holt. He nodded once. You're the father? Not biologically, but I raised her since birth. His fingers stopped moving. He looked up. So, legally? I lost custody in the divorce, I said, jaw clenched. She lives with her mother, but the guy she's living with now, he did that, her stepfather, their biological father. The cop leaned back. Okay, slow down. Who are we talking about? Byron James Dubois, my ex-wife's boyfriend. That photo was taken 2 hours ago. Sheridan told me herself. He sighed and slid a clipboard toward me. Write everything down. Names, dates, details. We'll have someone look into it. That guy is still in that house, I said, voice rising. With my daughters. You understand that? I hear you, he said. But we've got a process. Fill it out. We'll take it from there. I gripped the pen so hard I thought it might snap. My handwriting looked like I was trying to carve through the page. When I was done, I shoved the clipboard back. You heading home? The officer asked, almost casually. No, I said, eyes locked on his. Not yet. I wanted to talk with Byron. I didn't knock. I waited outside in the dark until Byron came out in a t-shirt and slippers to toss a trash bag. I stepped out of my car and walked straight toward him. Jack, you put your hands on my daughter. He blinked, then had the nerve to scoff. We're doing this now. No, we're done talking. I hit him clean in the jaws. No warning, just everything I had. He flew backward into the trash bins, came up swinging, missed wide. I landed another to the ribs. Then he tackled me, and we hit the driveway hard. I didn't care. He shoved me back, but I grabbed his collar, slammed him into the hood of the car. My knuckles were bleeding. My shirt was ripped, but I didn't stop. You think you can hurt my kid and walk around like it's nothing? I growled. You're not even their dad, he shouted. I'm more of a father than you'll ever be. That's when the red and blue lights flashed behind us. A cop car pulled up fast. Doors flew open. Hands where we can see them! I backed off, hands in the air. Everything okay here? One officer barked. Not even close, I said. They gave me an ice pack and a few forms to sign. My knuckles were swollen, split open near the edge. The paperwork said I was being charged with misdemeanor battery. Basically, I hit someone, and now I had to answer for it. They said I'd get a court date in the mail. Most likely a fine, community service, and maybe some anger management classes. No jail time, unless I screwed something up later. One of the officers leaned over the counter, flipping through my report. "You're lucky," he said. "Neighbor called it in before it got worse." I tightened the ice pack in my hand. "Lucky?" He glanced at me. "That guy hit a kid," I said. He nodded, careful. "We're still looking into that." I stared at him a second longer. "Yeah. Well, don't take too long." He didn't say anything after that, just walked off, leaving me there with a pounding head and a folder full of consequences. A few weeks later, we were back in court. I sat straight in my chair. Clean suit. Sheridan and Helena were seated with Butch and Becky behind me with my lawyer. Quiet. Watching. Dakota was across the aisle. Tight dress, tight lips, arms folded across her chest like she could hold herself together by force. Byron wasn't there. The judge had noted at the start of the hearing that he was absent due to an ongoing criminal case. The courtroom was cold and silent when the judge began reading his decision. "Miss Holt," he said slowly, "you knowingly allowed your live-in partner to strike your daughter. You concealed the injury, discouraged your child from speaking up, and failed to report the incident to authorities. That is not protection. That is neglect." Dakota stood. "I didn't hit them." The judge's voice didn't rise, didn't shift. "No, but you allowed it to happen, and you did nothing to stop it." Her voice cracked. "He told me it was an accident, that it would never happen again. And that accident left a visible bruise," the judge said, "and your response was to tell your daughter to hide it." Then he turned to me. "Mr. Healy, despite not being the biological father, you have demonstrated long-term parental responsibility, emotional and financial support, and immediate, appropriate action once you became aware of the situation. This court takes that seriously." He paused, let the silence sit. "This court grants full legal and physical custody of Sheridan and Helena to Mr. Healy. Miss Holt will be allowed supervised visitation to be reviewed after 6 months." Dakota gasped. "You can't do that! You can't just take them!" "They're not property," the judge replied coldly. "They are children, and their safety comes first." Then came the snap. Dakota slammed both hands on the table, her chair tipped back and hit the floor with a thud. "He doesn't even share their blood!" she screamed. "Miss Holt!" the judge warned again. She pointed at me, shrieking, "You're letting him destroy my life!" 2 court officers approached slowly, hands open, calm. "Ma'am, we need you to step outside." "Don't touch me!" She shoved one of them back with her elbow, and when the other tried to grab her wrist, she bit his hand hard, full teeth. He yelped and twisted away. That changed everything. The first officer moved in fast. She was pinned in seconds, kicking, yelling, hair flying as they wrestled her toward the exit. "You're all liars! You'll see! You'll regret this!" Her voice echoed all the way down the hallway. Then silence. Sheridan stepped toward me slowly. Then all at once, she closed the distance and wrapped her arms tight around my waist. Helena followed, holding on like she hadn't taken a deep breath in weeks. Neither of them looked back. I held them close. No words. They didn't need them. They knew. They were safe now, and I wasn't letting go.